The moment Nathan Brooks heard Serena Vale's voice crack in those secret recordings, raw, broken, terrified, he knew two things with absolute certainty. She would either destroy him for what he'd discovered, or she would destroy herself trying to keep him silent. Standing in her executive office at 2 a.m., watching the most powerful woman in Manhattan stare at him with eyes that had forgotten how to trust anyone, Nathan realized he'd just become the only person alive who knew the truth, that the Ice Queen CEO everyone feared was actually drowning. If you want to know how a single father with nothing to lose became the weakness of a woman who built an empire on having none, stay with me until the end of this story. Hit that like button and comment with your city so I can see how far this journey travels. Nathan Brooks had perfected the art of being forgettable. In an office filled with aggressive personalities fighting for Serena Vale's attention, Nathan had mastered invisibility. He arrived early, left late, fixed problems nobody else understood, and collected his paycheck without making enemies. At Vailtech Industries, that counted as survival. The divorce had taught him that much. 3 years ago, his ex-wife Amanda had looked him straight in the eye and said, "You're not enough, Nathan. You'll never be enough." She'd left him with Lily, their daughter, and a Brooklyn apartment that cost more than he could afford. Since then, Nathan had learned to keep his head down, his expectations low, and his world small enough to control. "Dad, you forgot to pack my juice box again." Nathan glanced at his daughter through the rearview mirror. Lily sat in her booster seat, blonde hair tangled from sleep, wearing the purple dinosaur shirt she refused to let him wash. 8 years old and already giving him that look, the one that said she loved him but worried about him constantly. "I'll grab you one after school," Nathan promised, navigating through Brooklyn traffic toward her elementary school. "Apple or grape?" "Both." Lily grinned, gap-toothed and perfect. "Because you'll forget which one I asked for." "Smart kid." "I know." She kicked her feet against the seat. "Mrs. Patterson says I'm the best at math in the whole class. She says I get it from you." Nathan smiled despite the exhaustion pulling at his bones. He'd been up until 3 in the morning debugging security protocols for Vailtech's new client acquisition system. Sleep had become theoretical. "Your mom was good at math too," he said carefully. Lily's expression shifted, something complicated that no 8-year-old should have to feel. "Mom doesn't call anymore. She's busy, sweetheart." "Too busy for me?" Nathan's chest tightened. "No, never too busy for you. She's figuring some things out." Amanda had remarried 6 months ago, some finance guy with a summer house in the Hamptons. She saw Lily twice a month if Nathan was lucky, once a month when her new life got in the way. He'd stopped being angry about it. Anger took energy he didn't have. "I like it when it's just us anyway," Lily said quietly. Nathan pulled up to the school drop-off line. "Yeah?" "Yeah." She unbuckled herself and leaned forward to kiss his cheek. "You're my favorite person, Dad." "You're mine too, Lil." She hopped out of this car, backpack bouncing. Nathan watched until she disappeared through the school doors, then sat there for a moment, letting himself feel everything he didn't have time for during the day. Then his phone buzzed. Serena Vale, executive floor, server room, now. Nathan's stomach dropped. In the 18 months he'd worked at Vailtech, Serena had never contacted him directly. She had assistants for that. Layers of management between her and the people who actually kept the company's systems running. The CEO of Vailtech didn't text cybersecurity specialists at 8:47 in the morning unless something had gone catastrophically wrong. Nathan drove to Manhattan with his hands gripping the steering wheel too tight. Bonsoir. Vailtech occupied the top 15 floors of a glass tower in Midtown. Nathan badged through security, ignored the pitying looks from the lobby staff. Everyone knew when someone got summoned to the executive floor, and took the elevator up. The doors opened to a different world. Marble floors, abstract art worth more than his yearly salary, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. Nathan had been up here exactly twice. Once during orientation, once when he'd been formally reprimanded for questioning a senior director's security decision that turned out to be massively incompetent. He'd been right. The director had hated him for it ever since. Serena Vale's assistant, a sharp-eyed woman named Patricia, gestured toward the private server room without speaking. Her expression said, "You're about to have a very bad day." Nathan knocked. "Come in." Serena's voice carried the kind of authority that made people straighten their spines involuntarily. Nathan opened the door. The server room was smaller than he'd expected, climate-controlled, humming with expensive hardware, lined with backup systems that probably cost more than most people's houses. And standing in the middle of it, arms crossed, expression unreadable, was Serena Vale. She looked exactly like her reputation. 30 years old, viciously intelligent, beautiful in a way that felt weaponized. Dark hair pulled back severely, tailored suit that probably cost what Nathan made in a month, and eyes that could dissect a person's worth in seconds. "Mr. Brooks?" She didn't smile. "Thank you for coming." "Ma'am." Nathan kept his distance. "What's the issue?" "The executive server is locked. I can't access critical files for the board meeting in 3 hours." Nathan moved to the main terminal, fingers already typing. "Do you know what triggered the lockout? If I knew that, I wouldn't have called you." "Fair enough." Nathan pulled up the diagnostic screen, tracking the security protocols. "It looks like someone tried to access encrypted files without proper clearance. The system automatically locked down to prevent a breach." "I tried to access my own files," Serena said coldly, "on my own server set." Nathan glanced at her. "These files aren't under your user credentials. They're isolated in a separate partition with military-grade encryption." Something flickered across Serena's face. For just a second, she looked less like a CEO and more like someone who'd been caught. "Can you unlock it?" she asked. "Yes, but I'll need to see what triggered the lockout." Nathan pulled up the access logs. "It might take..." The screen populated with file names. Most were standard corporate documents, legal contracts, acquisition proposals. But one folder stood out. Personal. Voice notes. Do not access. Nathan's cursor hovered over it. "Ms. Vale, there's a folder here that..." "Don't open that." Her voice cracked. Actually cracked. Nathan looked up and saw something he'd never expected. Fear. "I won't," he said quickly. "But the lockout originated from that folder. Someone tried to access it about 2 hours ago. The system flagged it as a breach attempt and shut everything down." Serena moved closer, looking at the screen over his shoulder. She smelled like expensive perfume and coffee. "Who tried to access it?" Nathan checked the logs. Nathan said. "The attempt came from your executive assistant's terminal." "Patricia?" "Looks like it." Serena's jaw tightened. "She was retrieving files for the board meeting. I told her which ones to pull. She must have clicked the wrong folder." Nathan nodded slowly. "That made sense, except..." "Ms. Vale, the encryption on this folder is extreme, way beyond standard corporate security. If you want, I can unlock the server and restore access to everything except this folder. It'll stay isolated until you personally authorize..." "Just unlock everything," Serena said. "I'll deal with it myself." "Shh. Are you sure? Because if this folder contains sensitive..." "Mr. Brooks," Serena's voice went sharp. "I didn't bring you here to question my decisions. Unlock the server. Now." Nathan turned back to the terminal. His hands moved automatically, bypassing security protocols, untangling the lockout. He was good at this. Really good. It was the one thing in his life that made sense. Systems, logic, problems with clear solutions. The server unlocked with a soft chime. "Done," Nathan said. "You should have full access now." "Thank you." Serena moved toward the door, already pulling out her phone. "You can leave." Nathan should have left. Should have walked out, gone back to his desk, forgotten the whole thing. Instead, he heard himself say, "Ms. Vale?" She paused, hand on the doorframe. "That folder," Nathan said carefully. "The encryption is good, but it's not perfect. If someone really wanted to access it, someone with the right skills, they could probably break through. It might take time, but it's possible." Serena turned slowly. "Are you threatening me, Mr. Brooks?" "No." Nathan met her eyes. "I'm telling you that if that folder contains something you don't want people to see, you need better protection. I could build you something stronger, something actually unbreakable." For a long moment, Serena just stared at him. "Why would you do that?" she asked. "Because it's my job. Your job is to maintain system security, not to protect my personal files." Same thing, isn't it? Nathan shrugged. If your personal files get compromised, it becomes a company problem. I'm just trying to prevent that. Serena's expression remained unreadable. You have a daughter, don't you? The question caught Nathan off guard. Yes. Single father. Yes. Your ex-wife left you with full custody. Nathan felt his defenses rising. Is there a point to this, Ms. Vale? Time. Just curious, Serena said. Most men in your position would have fought for less responsibility, not more. Yet you take care of your daughter alone while working 60-hour weeks. Why? Because she's my daughter. That's not an answer. It's the only answer that matters. Serena's eyes narrowed like she was trying to solve a puzzle she didn't understand. Fine. Rebuild the encryption on that folder. Make it unbreakable, like you said, but I want it done tonight. Tonight? Is that a problem? Nathan thought about Lily, about the babysitter he'd have to call, the dinner he'd have to skip, the bedtime story he wouldn't be there to read. No, he said. Not a problem. Good. Serena opened the door. Patricia will give you access credentials. Don't disappoint me, Mr. Brooks. She left. Nathan stood alone in the server room, wondering what the hell he'd just agreed to. By the time Nathan made it back to his desk, the rumor mill had already started. Bro, what did you do? Marcus Chen, the junior security analyst who sat 2 cubicles over, rolled his chair into Nathan's space. People are saying Serena personally summoned you. Just a server issue, Nathan said, logging into his workstation. Nobody gets personally summoned for a server issue. Marcus lowered his voice. Dude, she fired 3 people last month for missing a deadline by 2 hours. Whatever you did, you better start updating your resume. I didn't do anything. That's what everyone says right before they get escorted out by security. Nathan ignored him and pulled up his work queue. 53 unread tickets, most of them urgent. He'd be lucky to get through half before his phone buzzed. Patricia Chen, executive assistant. Ms. Vale has cleared your schedule for the rest of the day. Report to executive server room at 6 p.m. Access credentials attached. Marcus read the message over his shoulder and whistled. Oh man, you're so dead. Thanks for the support. I'm serious. Nobody gets their schedule cleared by Serena Vale unless they're about to have a very bad day. Marcus rolled back to his desk. Nice knowing you, Brooks. Nathan spent the rest of the day trying to focus on work while his mind spun through worst-case scenarios. Maybe Serena had changed her mind. Maybe she'd decided Nathan knew too much about that encrypted folder and needed to be removed. Maybe... His phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Mr. Brooks? A woman's voice he didn't recognize. This is Lincoln Elementary. Your daughter Lily asked us to call. She says you forgot to bring her juice boxes. Nathan checked the time. 3:47 p.m. School had been out for nearly an hour. Oh, God. He grabbed his jacket. I'm so sorry. I'm on my way. It's okay. Lily's fine. She's in the after-school program, but she wanted to make sure you remembered. Nathan was already heading for the elevator. Tell her I'm coming. 20 minutes. He made it in 18. He made it in. Lily sat in the school cafeteria with a coloring book, surrounded by other kids whose parents ran late. She looked up when Nathan rushed in, and her face transformed into pure relief. Dad! Nathan scooped her up. I'm sorry, sweetheart. I got held up at work. It's okay. Lily hugged his neck. I knew you'd come. You always come. Something in Nathan's chest cracked. This kid, this perfect, patient, understanding kid who deserved so much better than a father who forgot juice boxes and worked too many hours and couldn't give her the life she should have had. How about we grab pizza on the way home, Dad? Nathan said. The good pizza or the cheap pizza? The good pizza. Lily grinned. Best day ever. Oh. They drove to Joe's on Bleecker Street, Lily's favorite, and way outside Nathan's budget. But watching his daughter demolish 2 slices of pepperoni while telling him about her day, about the science project she wanted to do, about the new girl in class who didn't have any friends yet, so Lily had decided to be her friend anyway, Nathan decided some things were worth going broke for. Dad? Lily wiped pizza grease off her chin. Are you okay? Yeah, Lil, I'm good. You look tired. Oop! Just been a long day. Lily reached across the table and patted his hand. You work too hard. Nathan smiled. Somebody's got to pay for this fancy pizza. I could get a job, Lily said seriously. I'm really good at math. I could be one of those people who counts money at banks. You're 8. Almost 9. Still 8. But I could help. Lily's expression went serious. I know money is hard for us. I know Mom doesn't help. I know you get worried about it. Nathan's throat tightened. Lil, that's not your job to worry about. But I do worry because you worry. I'm your dad. I'm supposed to worry. You're supposed to be a kid and eat pizza and be happy. Lily considered this. Can I do both? No. That's not fair. Life's not fair, sweetheart. Nathan squeezed her hand. But I've got this, I promise. You just focus on being 9, almost 9, and let me handle the grown-up stuff. They finished dinner as the sun set over Manhattan. Nathan checked his phone. 5:23 p.m. He needed to get Lily home, settled with the babysitter, and get back to Vailtech by 6. We got a roll, he said, flagging down the waitress for the check. Where are you going? Back to work. Mrs. Chen from upstairs is going to stay with you for a few hours. Lily's face fell. But you just got home. I know. I'm sorry. It's just for tonight. You always say that. Lil, oh. You said you'd watch the movie with me. You promised. Nathan had promised. Last week when he'd missed her school play because of a system emergency. He'd promised they'd watch her favorite movie together this week. Tomorrow, Nathan said. I promise. Tomorrow will... You won't. Lily's voice went quiet. You'll be too tired. Or work will call. Or something else will be more important. Nothing is more important than you. Then why do you always leave? The question hit Nathan like a punch. Because she was right. He did always leave. Always chose work over her. Always let her down. Always proved that Amanda had been right. He wasn't enough. I'll make it up to you, Nathan said weakly. Lily didn't answer. She just stared at her plate, small and disappointed, and Nathan felt like the worst father in the world. They drove home in silence. Mrs. Chen arrived at 5:50. Nathan gave her emergency numbers, kissed Lily's forehead, she didn't kiss him back, and drove back into Manhattan hating himself. The executive floor was empty when Nathan arrived. Just the hum of expensive air conditioning and the glow of emergency lighting. He badged into the server room and stopped. Serena Vale was already there. She stood in front of the terminal, still wearing her tailored suit, but her hair was down now, dark waves falling past her shoulders. She looked different, younger, more human. You're early, Nathan said. So are you. Serena didn't turn around. I thought you'd have dinner with your daughter first. I did. Fast dinner. She must have loved that. Nathan bristled. Did you need something, Ms. Vale, or can I just do the work you hired me for? Serena finally looked at him. You're angry. I'm here. That's what matters. No, you're angry. At me, probably. For making you come back tonight instead of being with your daughter. Serena crossed her arms. Let me guess. She's upset with you now, thinks you care more about work than her. You don't know anything about my daughter. I know what it feels like when your parent chooses something else over you. Serena's voice went flat. I know exactly what that feels like. Nathan didn't know what to say to that, so he moved to the terminal and started working. The encryption rebuild took concentration. Nathan had to isolate the folder, strip the existing security, and build new protocols from scratch. It was delicate work. One mistake and the entire folder could corrupt. Serena watched him work. Didn't speak, didn't leave. Just watched. After 20 minutes, Nathan's curiosity got the better of him. Can I ask you something? He said, eyes still on the screen. No. Why is this folder so important? I said no. You've got military-grade encryption on personal voice notes. That's not normal. Mr. Brooks, I'm not trying to pry. I just need to understand what I'm protecting so I can build the right security. Serena was quiet for a long moment. Those voice notes, she finally said, are private thoughts I recorded for myself. No one was ever supposed to hear them. No one can ever hear them. What's in them? None of your business. Are they illegal? No. Embarrassing? Mr. Brooks. Just trying to understand. They're honest. Serena's voice went sharp. They're the only honest thing in my entire life. And if anyone heard them, if the board or the investors or the press got access to them, it would destroy everything I've built. Does that answer your question? Nathan stopped typing. He turned to look at her. Serena Vale, the Ice Queen, CEO, the woman who'd built a tech empire before turning 30, the executive who could fire someone without blinking, looked genuinely afraid. Yeah, Nathan said quietly. That answers it. He turned back to the terminal and kept working. The new encryption took another 40 minutes to build. When Nathan finally finished, he ran 3 separate security tests to make sure the system was unbreakable. Done, he said. Nobody's getting into this folder now. Not without your personal biometric authorization. Show me. Nathan walked her through the new security protocols. Fingerprint authentication, voice recognition, retinal scan if she wanted to add it later. The folder was now more secure than most government databases. Thank you, Serena said. Just doing my job. No. Serena met his eyes. You stayed late, missed time with your daughter, and built something perfect without asking for anything in return. That's not just doing your job. You're paying me. Well, I'm paying you to maintain systems, not to care whether I sleep well at night. Nathan shrugged. Maybe I just like building things that work. Serena studied him. You're different from most people here. How? They want something from me. Promotion, recognition, power. But you, she tilted her head. You just want to fix things and go home to your daughter, don't you? Pretty much. That's rare. Serena's voice softened, especially in this building. Nathan didn't know what to say to that, so he started packing up his equipment. Mr. Brooks? Serena said. Yeah? The folder you just secured. If I asked you to access it right now, could you? Nathan paused. Technically, yes. I built the encryption so I know how to bypass it. But I wouldn't. Why not? Because you asked me not to. That's it? That's it. Serena moved closer. Most people, if they had the ability to access my private thoughts, things that could destroy me, they'd at least be tempted. I'm not most people. No, Serena said quietly. You're not. She reached into her bag and pulled out an envelope. What's this? Nathan asked. Open it. Nathan opened the envelope. Inside was a check for $10,000. Ms. Vale, I can't. You did work that saved me from a potential catastrophe. That's worth $10,000. I was just fixing a server. You were protecting something that matters to me. There's a difference. Serena's expression remained neutral. Take it. Buy your daughter something nice. Take her somewhere she wants to go. Be the father she deserves. Nathan stared at the check. $10,000. He could pay off his credit cards, fix his car, get Lily new clothes that weren't from Target, maybe even take her to Disney World like she'd been begging for since she was 6. I don't understand, Nathan said. Why are you doing this? Because you didn't have to care, Serena said. You could have done the minimum, walked away, and collected your regular paycheck. But you stayed late. You built something perfect. You made me feel. She paused. Safe. That's worth something. Nathan looked at her, really looked at her, and saw something he'd never expected. Loneliness. This woman who had everything was lonely in a way that money couldn't fix. Thank you, Nathan said, pocketing the check. This means a lot. You're welcome. Serena moved toward the door. Get home to your daughter, Mr. Brooks. And next time she's upset with you, remember, she won't be 8 forever. Don't waste it. She left. Nathan stood alone in the server room, holding a check that felt too heavy, wondering what the hell had just happened. When Nathan got home, Mrs. Chen was asleep on the couch, and Lily was in bed. Nathan paid the babysitter, locked the door, and crept into his daughter's room. Lily was curled up under her dinosaur blanket, breathing softly. Nathan sat on the edge of her bed and gently brushed hair from her face. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I'm sorry I'm not better at this." Lily's eyes opened. "Dad?" "Hey, sweetheart. Go back to sleep." "Did you finish your work?" "Yeah." "Was it important?" Nathan thought about Serena Vale standing in that server room, looking afraid and human and lonely. "Yeah," he said. "It was important." Lily sat up and hugged him. "I'm not mad at you, Dad. I just miss you sometimes." "I miss you too, Lil. Can we do something fun this weekend? Just us?" Nathan thought about the $10,000 check in his pocket. "Yeah," he said. "How about we go somewhere special? Maybe Disney World?" Lily's eyes went wide. "Are you serious?" "Completely serious." She squealed and threw her arms around his neck. "Best dad ever." Nathan held his daughter and felt for the first time in years like maybe Amanda had been wrong. Maybe he was enough. Maybe he'd always been enough. He just hadn't believed it yet. The Disney World trip changed something fundamental between Nathan and his daughter, but it also changed something at work that Nathan didn't see coming. When he returned to Vale Tech the following Monday, people were staring. Not the usual invisible Nathan Brooks treatment he'd grown accustomed to over 18 months. Actual staring. Whispers that stopped when he walked past. Eyes that tracked him from the lobby to the elevator to his desk. Marcus rolled over before Nathan even sat down. "Okay, what the hell did you do?" Marcus demanded. "Good morning to you too." "Don't play dumb. You disappear for a week, come back, and suddenly you're on Serena Vale's personal project roster." Marcus shoved his phone in Nathan's face, showing an internal company memo. "See that? Your name, right there. Assigned to Executive Security Restructuring. Nobody gets assigned to Executive Security Restructuring unless they're either extremely valuable or about to be destroyed." Nathan scanned the memo. It was real. His name, his employee ID, transferred from General Cybersecurity to a direct reporting line under Serena Vale's office. "I didn't ask for this," Nathan said. "Nobody asked for this. It just happens to you, and then either you become untouchable or you disappear." Marcus lowered his voice. "Dude, Richard Castellano got assigned to executive restructuring last year. 3 months later, he was gone. Just gone. They said he resigned, but his LinkedIn still says he works here. That's not comforting. It's not supposed to be." Marcus rolled back to his desk. "Whatever you did, whatever she wants from you, just be careful. Serena Vale doesn't bring people close unless she needs something. And when she's done needing you..." He made a throat-cutting gesture. Nathan tried to focus on work, but his phone kept buzzing with messages from people he barely knew. Colleagues suddenly interested in having coffee. Senior managers asking if he had a minute to chat. The head of HR scheduling a brief, informal conversation about his career development goals. Everyone wanted to know what Nathan had done to get Serena Vale's attention. Nathan didn't have an answer that made sense. At 11:42 a.m., Patricia appeared at his desk. "Ms. Vale would like to see you," she said crisply. "Conference room 7. Now." Marcus made a sign of the cross as Nathan stood up. Conference room 7 was on the executive floor. All glass walls and minimalist furniture that probably cost more than Nathan's car. Serena was already inside, standing by the window with her back to the door, phone pressed to her ear. "I don't care what the board thinks," she was saying. "The acquisition moves forward. They'll approve it because they have no choice." "Yes, Jonathan, I'm aware of the risks. I'm also aware that you've been second-guessing my decisions for 6 months, and it hasn't improved your position. Then maybe you should consider whether you're a good fit for this company." She ended the call and turned around. "Mr. Brooks, sit." Nathan sat. Serena remained standing, arms crossed, studying him like he was a complicated equation she hadn't solved yet. "You took your daughter to Disney World," she said. "Yes." "Did she have a good time?" "Best week of her life." "Good." Serena moved to the table and slid a folder across to him. "I'm reassigning you." "I saw the memo." "Then you know this isn't optional, chantier." Nathan opened the folder. Inside were schematics for a complete corporate security overhaul, network infrastructure, data protection protocols, executive communication encryption, physical security integration. It was months of work. maybe years. This is massive, Nathan said. Yes. Why me? Because you're good at your job. Because you don't play office politics. Because you built me an encryption system in 3 hours that my previous security director couldn't build in 3 months. Serena sat down across from him. And because I trust you. You don't know me. I know enough. You're a single father working too many hours for not enough money. You keep your head down. You do good work without demanding recognition. You have no ambition to climb the corporate ladder because you're too busy trying to survive. Serena's expression didn't change. That makes you predictable. And predictability is valuable. That's pretty cynical. That's realistic. Serena tapped the folder. I need someone who won't leak information to the board, won't sell data to competitors, and won't use proximity to me as leverage for their own career. You need money and stability. We both get what we want. Nathan flipped through the project scope. The budget line made his eyes water. Millions. Actual millions of dollars allocated to security infrastructure. What if I screw this up? He asked. Then I'll fire you and hire someone else. Just like that? Just like that. Serena leaned back. But you won't screw it up. You're too careful, too thorough, too afraid of disappointing people. You don't know that about me, don't I? Serena's eyes narrowed. You stayed late to rebuild encryption because you didn't want to let me down. You took your daughter to Disney World because you felt guilty about missing time with her. You're sitting here right now trying to figure out how to say no without offending me, even though you desperately want to say no because this project terrifies you. Nathan said nothing. Because she was right. I'm offering you more money, Serena said. 40% salary increase effective immediately, company car, better health insurance, and your own office on this floor so you're not crammed in a cubicle with people who resent you. People don't resent me. Yes, they do. They resent that I noticed you when I haven't noticed them. They resent that you're about to get opportunities they've been fighting for. They resent that you're not one of them. Serena stood. Take the offer, Mr. Brooks. Build me something exceptional, and maybe you'll finally be able to give your daughter the life she deserves. She left him sitting there with the folder and a decision that didn't feel like much of a choice. Nathan took the job. What else was he going to do? 3 weeks later, Nathan had his own office with a view of the city, a salary that didn't make him sick with anxiety every time rent came due, and a work schedule that somehow felt more demanding than before. The security restructuring project consumed everything. He spent 12-hour days mapping Vailtech's vulnerabilities, 14-hour nights designing solutions, and whatever time remained trying to be present for Lily. It wasn't enough. It was never enough. Dad, you're doing it again, Lily said one evening, poking his shoulder. Nathan looked up from his laptop. They were supposed to be watching a movie together, some animated thing about talking animals that Lily loved. He'd been answering emails instead. Sorry, Lil, work stuff. You're always doing work stuff. She grabbed the laptop and closed it. The movie's almost over and you didn't watch any of it. I was listening. No, you weren't. What happened to the penguin? Nathan had no idea what she was talking about. The penguin. Did something important? Lily sighed. You're a terrible liar. I'm sorry. Stop saying sorry and just watch the movie. Nathan tried. He really did. But his phone kept buzzing with messages from Serena, from project managers, from vendors who needed immediate decisions on hardware purchases. The restructuring project had become this massive thing that required constant attention, constant decisions, constant Nathan. I need to take this, Nathan said when Serena called for the third time. Lily grabbed the remote and paused the movie. Fine, I'll just sit here, by myself, like always. The guilt hit like a hammer, but Serena was waiting. Brooks, Nathan answered, walking into the kitchen. Where are we on the firewall implementation? Serena asked without preamble. Almost done. Testing phase starts Monday. I need it done by Friday. That's not enough time. Make time. The board presentation is next Wednesday, and I need to show them completed infrastructure, not progress reports. Serena's voice carried that edge it always had when she was frustrated. Can you do it or not? Nathan thought about the 70-hour weeks he'd already been working, about Lily sitting alone in the living room watching movies by herself because her dad was always on the phone. About the promise he'd made to take her to the planetarium this weekend, a promise he was about to break. Yeah, Nathan said. I can do it. Good. I'll see you tomorrow morning, 6 a.m., my office. She hung up. Nathan stood in his kitchen, phone in hand, hating himself. Then he walked back to the living room. Lily was gone. The TV was off. Her bedroom door was closed. Nathan knocked softly. Lil? I'm sleeping. It's 8:30. I'm still sleeping. Nathan opened the door. Lily was under her covers, face turned toward the wall. I'm sorry, Nathan said. I know I keep doing this. It's fine. It's not fine. Then stop saying you're sorry and actually be here. Lily rolled over and her eyes were wet. I don't care about Disney World or new clothes or having a bigger apartment. I just want my dad to watch movies with me without checking his phone every 5 minutes. The words broke something in Nathan's chest. You're right, he said quietly. I've been screwing this up. Yeah, I'm going to do better. You always say that. I mean it this time. Yeah. Lily studied him with those 8-year-old eyes that saw way too much. Promise? Promise. She held out her pinky. Nathan linked his with hers, and for a moment he believed himself. Maybe this time would be different. Maybe he could actually balance everything. Maybe he could be enough. But when his phone buzzed at 5:15 the next morning with another message from Serena, Nathan knew he'd been lying to both of them. The next 6 weeks were brutal. Nathan worked every weekend, missed 2 of Lily's soccer games, and forgot her school's parent-teacher conference completely. Mrs. Chen became a permanent fixture in their apartment. Lily stopped asking when Nathan would be home. The security restructuring project came together beautifully. Vailtech's infrastructure became virtually impenetrable. The board loved it. Investors loved it. Industry publications wrote articles about Vailtech's innovative approach to corporate security. Nathan's name was mentioned exactly 0 times. That's how it works. Marcus told him over lunch one day, You do the work, she takes the credit, you get the paycheck. That's the deal. Doesn't bother you? Nathan asked. Why should it? I'm not trying to be CEO. I just want to make good money and go home at a reasonable hour. Marcus stabbed his salad. You're different, though. You actually care about the work. That's dangerous here. Why? Because Serena will use that. She'll keep pushing until you break, and then she'll find someone else who hasn't broken yet. Marcus lowered his voice. Marcus lowered his, You think you're special because she talks to you? You're not. You're convenient. The moment you stop being convenient, you're gone. Nathan wanted to argue, but Marcus had a point. Serena Vale didn't do personal relationships. She did transactions. Nathan provided value, she provided money. That was the arrangement. Except then something happened that didn't fit the arrangement at all. It was a Thursday afternoon, pouring rain, and Nathan had just realized he'd completely forgotten to pick up Lily from school. Again. He'd been in a meeting with vendors, lost track of time, and now it was 4:47 and Lily had been waiting for almost 2 hours. Nathan grabbed his jacket and ran for the elevator, phone pressed to his ear, calling the school, apologizing, promising he was on his way, feeling like the worst father in human history. He didn't see Serena until he literally crashed into her in the lobby. Mr. Brooks? Sorry, can't talk. Emergency. Nathan pushed past her and out into the rain. He made it halfway to his car before he realized he'd left his keys on his desk. He turned to run back inside and found Serena standing there, holding his keys. You left these, she said. Thanks. Nathan grabbed them. I really have to go. Where? My daughter's school. I forgot to pick her up. Again. Nathan was already moving toward his car. I'm a terrible father, I know, but I really can't. I'll drive you. Nathan stopped. What? I'll drive you. My car is closer, and you're clearly too panicked to drive safely in this weather. Serena was already walking toward the parking garage. Come on. Nathan should have said no. Should have insisted he was fine. Driven himself. Maintained whatever professional boundary was supposed to exist between a CEO and an employee. Instead, he followed her. Serena's car was exactly what Nathan expected. A sleek black Mercedes that probably cost more than he'd make in 5 years. The interior smelled like leather and expensive perfume. Serena drove with the same controlled precision she did everything else. What school? she asked. Lincoln Elementary, Brooklyn. Serena pulled into traffic without comment. They drove in silence for 10 minutes, rain hammering against the windshield, before Nathan finally spoke. You didn't have to do this. I know. So why did you? Serena didn't answer immediately. She navigated through Manhattan traffic with the kind of focus that suggested she was thinking about something else entirely. When I was 9, she finally said, my father forgot to pick me up from piano lessons. I waited for 3 hours before my teacher drove me home. When I asked my father why he forgot, he said he'd been in an important business meeting. That business was more important than piano lessons. I'm sorry. Don't be. He was right. Business was more important. That's how he built his company. That's how I built mine. Serena glanced at him. But I still remember sitting on those steps, watching cars go by, wondering why I wasn't important enough to remember. Nathan didn't know what to say to that. They pulled up to Lincoln Elementary at 5:03. Lily was sitting inside the main entrance with the vice principal, wet from the rain, small and sad, and exactly like Serena had been at 9 years old. Nathan ran inside. Lil, I'm so sorry. Lily stood up and hugged him. She didn't cry. She just held on tight and said, I knew you'd come. I'm the worst dad in the world. No, you're just late. Lily pulled back and looked past him. Who's that? Nathan turned. Serena was standing in the doorway, wet from the rain, watching them with an expression Nathan couldn't read. That's my boss, Nathan said. She gave me a ride. She's really pretty, Lily whispered. Lil, oh. But Lily was already walking over to Serena, fearless in the way only 8-year-olds could be. Hi, Lily said. I'm Lily Brooks. Are you my dad's boss? Yes, Serena said. I'm Serena Vale. My dad talks about you sometimes. He says you're really smart, but also kind of scary. Lily! Nathan wanted to sink through the floor, but Serena smiled, actually smiled. Not the professional smile she used in meetings or the cold smile she gave people she was about to fire. A real smile. Your dad is right on both counts, Serena said. It's nice to meet you, Lily. Do you want to have dinner with us? Lily asked. We're probably just having pizza because my dad can't cook, but it's still good. Lily, Ms. Vale is busy. Actually, Serena said, pizza sounds perfect. Nathan stared at her. You don't have to. I know. Serena looked at Lily. But I'd like to. That was how Nathan ended up having dinner with his daughter and his CEO at a pizza place in Brooklyn while rain pounded against the windows, and the entire universe seemed to tilt on its axis. Lily talked nonstop. About school, about her friends, about the science project she was working on, about everything and nothing. Serena listened with genuine interest, asked questions, laughed at Lily's jokes in a way that seemed completely unguarded. Nathan watched the most powerful woman in Manhattan eat cheap pizza with his 8-year-old daughter and wondered what the hell was happening. Your dad tells me you're good at math, Serena said. I'm the best in my class, Lily said proudly. I want to be an engineer when I grow up, or an astronaut, or both. Both is good. I like ambitious. What did you want to be when you were my age? Serena considered this. I wanted to be someone important, someone people remembered. Did it work? Yes. Are you happy? The question caught Serena off guard. Nathan saw something flicker across her face, something raw and honest that disappeared almost immediately. That's a complicated question, Serena said. Why? Because being important and being happy aren't always the same thing. Lily thought about this. My dad says happiness is more important than money. Your dad is probably right. But you have lots of money and you're not happy? Lily, Nathan interrupted. That's a really personal question. It's okay, Serena said. She looked at Lily seriously. I have a lot of money. I have a successful company. People know my name. But sometimes I wonder if I gave up the things that would have actually made me happy to get all of that. Like what? Like this. Serena gestured around the small pizza place. Dinner with people who care about each other. Conversations that aren't about business. Someone to come home to who's happy to see me. Lily nodded wisely. You should get a family then. It's not that simple. Why not? Because I'm not very good at letting people close. You're close to my dad, though, right? He works for you all the time. Serena glanced at Nathan. Your dad is different. Because he's nice? Because he's real. Serena's voice went quiet. Most people I work with wear masks. They pretend to be whatever they think I want them to be. Your dad doesn't do that. That's because my dad is terrible at pretending, Lily said. He can't even pretend to like vegetables. Serena laughed. Actually, laughed. The sound was so unexpected that Nathan just stared. They finished dinner as the rain slowed to a drizzle. Serena insisted on paying, drove them back to Nathan's apartment, and walked them to the door like it was the most normal thing in the world. Thank you for dinner, Serena said to Lily. I had a really good time. You can come back whenever you want, Lily said. We have pizza a lot because it's cheap and my dad doesn't have to cook. Lily, I'd like that, Serena said. She met Nathan's eyes and something passed between them, something Nathan didn't have words for. Get some sleep, Mr. Brooks, Serena said. I'll see you tomorrow. She left. Nathan stood in his apartment doorway, watching Serena walk back to her car, wondering what the hell had just happened. Dad? Lily tugged his hand. I really like her. Yeah, Nathan said quietly. Me too. And that was the problem, because Nathan Brooks had learned the hard way not to care about people who were temporary, not to trust people who had the power to destroy him, not to let himself want things he couldn't have. But watching Serena drive away into the Brooklyn night, Nathan realized he was already breaking all his own rules. The next morning, Nathan arrived at work expecting everything to go back to normal. Serena would be the Ice Queen CEO again. He'd be the invisible employee. Last night would become this weird anomaly they'd never mention. Instead, Serena called him into her office at 8:15. Your daughter is remarkable, she said without preamble. Thank you. How do you do it? Balance everything? I don't. I'm failing at basically everything except work. You're not failing with her. Lily adores you. Lily is 8 and doesn't know any better. Lily is 8 and sees you more clearly than you see yourself. Serena leaned against her desk. Do you know what she told me while you were paying for pizza? I'm afraid to ask. She said you're sad a lot, that you try to hide it, but she can tell. That she wishes you had someone to make you happy like you make her happy. Nathan's chest tightened. She said that? She's worried about you. She's 8. She shouldn't be worried about me. 8-year-olds worry about the people they love. That's how love works. Serena crossed her arms. I'm cutting your hours. What? The security project is 90% complete. I'm bringing in contractors to finish the implementation so you can focus on maintenance and oversight instead of 70-hour weeks. I don't need... Yes, you do. Your daughter needs her father. I don't. And you need to stop sacrificing yourself for a job that will replace you in a week if you drop dead. That's dark. That's honest. Serena's expression softened. I spent my whole childhood watching my father choose work over me. I won't be responsible for your daughter growing up the same way. Nathan didn't know what to say. This wasn't the Ice Queen CEO everyone feared. This was someone else entirely. Why do you care? He asked. Serena was quiet for a long moment. Because dinner with you and Lily last night was the first time in 10 years I felt like a person instead of a CEO, she said finally. And I don't want to be responsible for destroying that for someone else. She walked to the window looking out over Manhattan. My father built an empire, Serena continued. He died alone in his office, surrounded by achievements and awards and things that didn't matter. I was in London when it happened. I didn't make it home in time to say goodbye. She turned to face Nathan. I don't want that to be your story. It won't be. You don't know that. None of us know that. We just make choices and hope they're the right ones. Nathan studied her. What are you really saying? I'm saying take your daughter to the planetarium this weekend like you promised. I'm saying leave work at 6 instead of 8. I'm saying stop trying to be everything to everyone and just be enough for the people who actually matter. And if I can't finish the project on time, then it takes longer. The world won't end. Nathan wanted to believe her, Wanted to believe he could actually have balance, actually be present for Lily, actually stop running himself into the ground. Okay, he said. I'll try. Good. Serena moved back to her desk. Now, get out of my office. I have actual work to do. Nathan left, but he paused at the door. Serena? She looked up, and he realized it was the first time he'd used her first name. Thank you, he said. For what? For caring about my kid. Something shifted in Serena's expression. You're welcome. Nathan went back to his office and worked exactly 8 hours. Then he left, picked up Lily from school himself, and took her to the park. They fed ducks, ate ice cream, and talked about everything and nothing. Lily was happier than she'd been in months. That night, after tucking Lily into bed, Nathan's phone buzzed with a message. Serena Vale. How was the planetarium? Nathan smiled. Nathan. We went to the park instead. It was perfect. Serena. Good. She deserves perfect. Nathan. So do you. He sent it before he could second-guess himself. 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Serena. I don't know if I believe that anymore. Nathan. Maybe you should. The dots appeared one more time, then stopped. Serena didn't respond. But the next morning, Nathan found a coffee on his desk, exactly how he liked it, with a note in Serena's handwriting. Thank you for reminding me what matters. Nathan kept that note in his desk drawer for a very long time. The coffee became a routine. Every morning, Nathan found one on his desk. Always perfect, always with a small note in Serena's precise handwriting. Sometimes the notes were professional reminders about meetings or deadlines. Sometimes they were questions about Lily. Sometimes they were just observations about the weather or the city or nothing in particular. Nathan started leaving responses. Sticky notes on Serena's office door before she arrived, casual replies that felt dangerously close to friendship. The office noticed, of course. People always noticed when Serena Vale changed her patterns. You're playing with fire, Marcus warned him one afternoon. Everyone's talking about how she's treating you differently. We're just colleagues. Colleagues don't bring each other coffee. Colleagues don't have private jokes. Colleagues definitely don't smile at each other the way you two were smiling in the hallway yesterday. Nathan felt heat rise in his face. We weren't smiling. You were absolutely smiling. It was disturbing, like watching the Ice Queen defrost in real time. Marcus lowered his voice. Look, I'm not judging, but you need to be careful. Half the executives upstairs want your job, and the other half want to destroy Serena. If they think you're her weakness, they'll use you against her. That's paranoid. That's Vale Tech. Marcus glanced around to make sure no one was listening. David Chen in finance got fired last month because someone told the board he was sharing confidential information with a competitor. Turned out the competitor was his college roommate who works in marketing. Completely innocent. Didn't matter. They destroyed him anyway. Serena wouldn't let that happen to me. Serena might not have a choice. She's powerful, but she's not invincible. The board has been looking for reasons to limit her control for years. Don't give them ammunition. Nathan knew Marcus was right, knew he should pull back, maintain distance, remember that Serena Vale was his boss and nothing more. But then Lily invited Serena to her birthday party, and Nathan couldn't bring himself to say no. The party was small, just Lily's closest friends from school, held in their cramped Brooklyn apartment with decorations Nathan had hung himself. Nothing fancy, nothing expensive, just cake and games and kids running around screaming while adults pretended to supervise. Serena showed up at 2:03 p.m. wearing jeans and a sweater, looking so different from her usual tailored suits that Nathan almost didn't recognize her. You came, Lily squealed, throwing her arms around Serena's waist. Of course I came. You invited me. Serena held up a wrapped present. Where should I put this? Presents! Lily grabbed the box and ran toward the kitchen table. Serena smiled at Nathan. She has a lot of energy. You have no idea. Wait until the sugar kicks in. Nathan took her coat. You really didn't have to come. I wanted to. Serena looked around the apartment, taking in the mismatched furniture, the kid drawings taped to the walls, the organized chaos that came from a single father doing his best. This is nice. It's small. It's lived in. That's different than small. One of Lily's friends ran past, chasing another kid with a foam sword. Serena stepped aside, looking slightly overwhelmed. You okay? Nathan asked. I'm not great with crowds. It's a bunch of 9-year-olds. Exactly. They're terrifying. Nathan laughed. Come on, I'll protect you. He led her to the kitchen where he'd set up drinks and snacks. The other parents were clustered there, talking about school and sports and all the normal things parents discussed. They glanced at Serena with curiosity. This woman was clearly out of place in her designer jeans and expensive watch. Everyone, this is Serena, Nathan said. She works with me. Works with you or employs you? Asked Jennifer Martinez, mother of Lily's best friend Sophia. She was smiling, but there was an edge to the question. I'm Nathan's boss, Serena said simply. Must be nice having your boss come to your kid's birthday party. Jennifer's smile didn't reach her eyes. Very close. Nathan felt tension creep into the room. He was about to say something when Lily appeared, dragging Serena toward the living room. You have to meet everyone, Lily insisted. Serena let herself be pulled away, and Nathan watched her settle onto the floor with a group of kids who immediately started asking her questions. What kind of car did she drive? Did she live in a mansion? Was she a movie star? Serena answered each question with surprising patience, and Nathan realized she was genuinely trying to fit into his world, trying to make Lily happy, trying to be someone other than the CEO everyone feared. She's pretty, Jennifer said, appearing at Nathan's elbow. Yeah, and clearly into you. We're just friends. Friends don't look at each other like that. Jennifer sipped her wine. But be careful, Nathan. Women like her don't date men like us. They just visit sometimes, and then they go back to their real lives. The words stung because they were probably true. Serena Vale lived in a world of private jets and exclusive restaurants and board meetings that decided the futures of thousands of people. Nathan lived in a world of overdue bills and soccer practice and trying to make rent every month. They weren't compatible. Not really. But watching Serena laugh at something Lily said, watching her relax in a way he'd never seen at the office, Nathan wanted to believe it could work anyway. The party wound down around 5. Parents collected their exhausted, sugar-crashed kids while Nathan started cleaning up the disaster zone his apartment had become. Serena stayed, helping without being asked, gathering paper plates and cups like it was the most natural thing in the world. You don't have to do that, Nathan said. I want to help. You're a CEO. CEOs don't clean up birthday parties. This CEO does. Serena tied off a trash bag. Where does this go? Dumpster in the alley. But seriously, I've got this. Nathan. Serena looked at him. Let me help. So he did. They cleaned together while Lily crashed on the couch, exhausted and happy, surrounded by new toys and wrapping paper. When the apartment was finally presentable, Serena sat on the floor next to Lily's present pile. Can I open this one? Lily asked, pointing to Serena's gift. If your dad says it's okay. Nathan nodded. Lily tore into the wrapping paper and froze. Inside was a professional telescope, the kind serious astronomers used, not the cheap plastic version Nathan had been planning to buy for Christmas. Holy crap, Lily whispered, then clapped her hand over her mouth. Sorry, holy cow. Language, Lil, Nathan said weakly, staring at a gift that probably cost more than his monthly rent. Do you like it? Serena asked. This is the best present ever. Lily looked at her father. Can we go to the roof? Can we look at stars right now, see? It's still light out, sweetheart. But when it gets dark, please? Nathan looked at Serena, who shrugged. I'm free tonight. You want to stay? Nathan asked. If that's okay. It was more than okay. It was dangerous and complicated and probably a terrible idea, but Nathan found himself nodding anyway. They ordered Chinese food and ate on the living room floor while Lily talked nonstop about space and stars and everything she wanted to see through her new telescope. Serena listened with genuine interest, asking questions that made Lily light up even more. When darkness finally fell, they carried the telescope to the roof. Brooklyn at night wasn't ideal for stargazing, too much light pollution, too much city noise. But Lily didn't care. She aimed the telescope at the moon and gasped. I can see craters. Dad, look, actual craters. Nathan looked, then stepped back so Serena could see. She bent over the eyepiece, adjusting the focus, and Nathan watched her profile against the city lights. This is incredible, Serena said softly. The moon? All of it. She straightened and looked at him. This? Her, you. A normal Thursday night that's not about business or money or any of the things I spend my life obsessing over. Sounds boring compared to your usual life. It's perfect compared to my usual life. Serena wrapped her arms around herself against the cool evening air. I can't remember the last time I did something just because it made me happy. When did you stop? Serena thought about that. I don't think I ever started. My whole life has been about building something, proving something, becoming someone important enough that I mattered. You matter. Do I? Or does my company matter? My money? My reputation? Serena shook her head. If I lost everything tomorrow, who would still be here? I would. The words came out before Nathan could stop them. Serena turned to look at him, and something shifted in the air between them. You barely know me, she said. I know enough. You know the version of me that shows up to birthday parties and brings coffee. You don't know the version that fires people without hesitation or destroys competitors or lies awake at night terrified that everything I've built will collapse. Maybe I want to know that version too. Why? Because she's real, and I'm tired of people who aren't. Serena held his gaze for a long moment. Then Lily called out from the telescope, breaking the tension. Serena, come look at this star cluster. Serena moved back to the telescope, but Nathan saw her hands trembling slightly. He stayed where he was, giving her space, wondering what the hell he was doing. Getting attached to Serena Vale was professional suicide, personal suicide, every kind of suicide. But Nathan was already attached, and he didn't know how to stop. They stayed on the roof until Lily started yawning. Nathan carried his half-asleep daughter back downstairs while Serena brought the telescope. They got Lily into bed, still wearing her party dress because she refused to change, and Nathan closed her bedroom door softly. When he turned around, Serena was standing in the middle of his living room looking lost. I should go, she said. You don't have to. I do. It's late and you have work tomorrow, and I've already taken up enough of your evening. Serena. Nathan stepped closer. Do you want to stay? That's not the point. It's exactly the point. Nathan, this... She gestured between them. Whatever this is, it's complicated. I know. I'm your boss. There are rules, policies. If anyone found out, I don't care. You should care. I could destroy your career, your reputation, everything you've built for yourself and Lily. You could, Nathan agreed, but you won't. How do you know? Because you're not that person. Not really. Serena laughed, but it sounded broken. You don't know what kind of person I am. You've seen me at my best. You haven't seen me make decisions that ruin lives. Haven't seen me choose profit over people. Haven't seen the things I've done to get where I am. Then show me. Why would I do that? Because I'm asking. Because I want to know you, the real you, not the CEO everyone's afraid of. Serena was quiet for a long time. Then she moved to the couch and sat down heavily. When I was 24, she said, I took over my father's company after he died. The board thought I was too young, too inexperienced, too emotional. They tried to push me out, so I spent 2 years systematically removing every board member who opposed me. I destroyed careers, ruined reputations, made people unemployable in the industry. Did they deserve it? Some of them. Some of them were just in my way. Serena looked at her hands. I'm not a good person, Nathan. I'm ruthless. I'm cold. I prioritize success over everything else. Ask anyone who works for me. I work for you. And what do you think? Nathan sat beside her. I think you're terrified of being vulnerable. I think you've spent your entire life building walls so high that nobody can hurt you. I think you're lonely and angry and exhausted from pretending to be invincible. Serena's eyes went wet. That's not fair. What's not fair? You seen me like that, seen through all the things I've built to protect myself. Maybe you don't need protection from me. Maybe I need protection from myself. Serena stood abruptly. I should go. This was a mistake. Serena, don't. She grabbed her coat. Don't make this harder than it already is. Nathan stood but didn't follow her. Why are you running? Because staying is dangerous. For who? For both of us. Serena moved toward the door, then paused. Thank you for letting me come today. Lily's party it was really special. She loves you. I love her too. That's the problem. How is that a problem? Serena turned to look at him, and her expression was devastated. Because I'm going to disappoint her. I disappoint everyone eventually. It's what I do. You don't have to. Yes, I do, because I don't know how to be anything else. She left before Nathan could respond. He stood in his empty apartment, listening to her footsteps fade down the stairs, and wondered if he'd just made everything worse. The next morning, there was no coffee on Nathan's desk, no note, no message. Serena didn't call him, didn't email, didn't acknowledge his existence beyond what was professionally necessary. Nathan tried to tell himself it was for the best, that Marcus had been right about playing with fire, that getting involved with Serena Vale was always going to end badly. But Lily kept asking when Serena would visit again, and Nathan didn't have an answer that didn't break his heart. 2 weeks passed. Nathan threw himself into work, avoiding the executive floor, keeping his head down. The security project wrapped up successfully. The board praised Serena's leadership. Nathan's name appeared in exactly 0 press releases. Then, on a Friday afternoon, Patricia appeared at his desk. Ms. Vale needs to see you, she said. Conference room 7. Now Nathan's stomach dropped. This was it. The conversation where Serena told him they needed to maintain professional distance, where whatever they'd started ended before it really began. He took the elevator up, walked past the marble floors and expensive art, and knocked on the conference room door. Come in. Serena was standing by the window, back to the door. She looked tense. Was standing. You wanted to see me? Nathan said. Close the door. Nathan closed the door. Serena turned around and her expression was carefully neutral. The board is planning something, she said without preamble. What kind of something? They've been questioning my recent decisions, asking why I reassigned you, why I'm cutting hours for key staff, why I'm prioritizing work-life balance over maximum productivity. Serena crossed her arms. They think I'm getting soft. That's ridiculous. Is it? 6 months ago, I would have fired you for missing deadlines. Now I'm telling you to leave early so you can have dinner with your daughter. That's not the Serena Vale they hired. Maybe the Serena Vale they hired needed to change. The board doesn't agree. They've started investigating my decisions, looking for mistakes, vulnerabilities. Serena met his eyes. They're looking at you, Nathan. Nathan's chest tightened. What did I do? Nothing. That's the problem. You're too close to me, too much of a distraction. They think I'm compromised. Are you? Yes. The admission came out quiet. I am completely compromised when it comes to you. Nathan didn't know what to say. Serena moved closer. I have a choice to make, she said. I can distance myself from you, reassign you back to general security, prove to the board that I'm still the ruthless CEO they trust, or I can fight for this, for us, whatever this is. What do you want? I want to be brave enough to choose you, but I don't know if I am. Nathan stepped forward. What are you afraid of? Everything. Losing my company, my reputation, my control. Serena's voice cracked. But mostly I'm afraid of hurting you and Lily, because that's what I do. I hurt people. It's what I'm good at. You haven't hurt us. Not yet, but I will. The board will force me to choose between my company and you, and I'll choose the company because that's who I am. That's who I've always been. Then change who you are. It's not that simple. It's exactly that simple. Nathan reached for her hand. You keep saying you're this terrible person, but I've seen you with Lily. I've seen you care about things that don't benefit you. I've seen you try to be better. That's not a terrible person. But that's a person pretending to be better. No, that's a person who actually is better but doesn't believe it yet. Serena pulled her hand away. You have too much faith in me. Maybe you don't have enough faith in yourself. They stood there, inches apart, the air between them charged with everything they weren't saying. Then Serena's phone buzzed. She glanced at it and her expression hardened. The board wants to meet with me in an hour. They're going to ask about you. What are you going to tell them? I don't know yet. Serena looked at him. What do you want me to tell them? The truth. Which is, Nathan took a breath, that I matter to you. That you're not going to sacrifice me to keep them happy. That you're done letting fear make your decisions. And if that costs me everything, then maybe everything wasn't worth having. Serena stared at him. Then, without warning, she kissed him. It was desperate and terrified and perfect. Nathan kissed her back, pulling her closer, feeling like he was falling and flying at the same time. When they finally broke apart, Serena was crying. I can't lose you, she whispered. I can't lose this. Then don't. It's not that easy. Yes, it is. You just have to choose us instead of choosing fear. Serena pressed her forehead against his. I've been afraid my whole life. I don't know how to stop. Start small, one brave choice at a time. Her phone buzzed again. Serena pulled back, wiping her eyes. I have to go, she said. I know. Nathan, go. Face the board. Make whatever choice you need to make. I'll be here when it's over. What if I make the wrong choice? Then we'll figure it out together. Serena looked at him like she wanted to believe him. Then she straightened her shoulders, put her CEO mask back on, and walked out the door. Nathan stood alone in the conference room, wondering if he'd just said goodbye forever. The board meeting lasted 3 hours. Nathan tried to work, failed, and ended up pacing his office while his phone stayed silent. Marcus stopped by twice to ask if he was okay. Nathan lied both times. At 7:47 p.m., Patricia appeared in his doorway. Ms. Vale would like to see you in her office. Nathan's heart stopped. Now? Asti Wuskokawoshit. He took the elevator up, walked the longest hallway of his life, and knocked on Serena's door. Come in. Serena was sitting at her desk, looking exhausted. Her eyes were red like she'd been crying. Nathan braced himself for bad news. Sit down, Serena said. Nathan sat. The board gave me an ultimatum, Serena said quietly. Either I reassign you and prove I'm focused on the company, or they start proceedings to remove me as CEO. Nathan felt his world collapse. Okay. I told them no. Nathan looked up sharply. What? I told them no. I'm not reassigning you. I'm not letting them dictate my personal decisions. And if they want to remove me as CEO, they can try, but I'll make it the ugliest corporate battle they've ever seen. Serena! I'm not done. She stood and moved around the desk. I also told them that my relationship with you is none of their business. That you're the best security specialist this company has ever had. And that if they have a problem with me having a personal life, they can find a new CEO. Nathan couldn't breathe. You said that? I said worse than that. I may have threatened to expose some creative accounting practices certain board members have been hiding. I may have reminded them that I own controlling shares and can make their lives very difficult. Serena smiled slightly. I was not nice. What did they say? They backed down, for now. But this isn't over. They're going to keep pushing, keep looking for ways to remove me or force you out. Then maybe I should resign. Sham! Don't you dare. Serena grabbed his hand. I didn't fight for this just to have you walk away. I don't want to cost you your company. You're not costing me anything. I'm choosing you. I'm choosing this. For the first time in my life, I'm choosing something that makes me happy instead of something that makes me powerful. Nathan pulled her close. Are you sure? Terrified, but sure. The board could still destroy both of us. Let them try. Serena looked up at him. I spent my whole life being afraid to want anything that couldn't be measured on a balance sheet. But you and Lily, you make me want impossible things. And I'm done being too afraid to try. Nathan kissed her. Not desperate this time, just honest. When they pulled apart, Serena was smiling. I should probably tell you something, Nathan said. What? Lily's been planning our wedding since your birthday party. Serena laughed. We haven't even been on a real date yet. I know, but she's very organized. She has color schemes picked out and everything. Of course she does. Serena shook her head. This is insane. We're going to get destroyed for this. Probably. People are going to talk. The press might get involved. Your life is about to get very complicated. I know. And you're okay with that? Nathan thought about his quiet, invisible life before Serena, about playing it safe and keeping his head down and never taking risks. Yeah, he said. I'm okay with that. Serena kissed him again, and Nathan felt something he hadn't felt in years. Hope. They had no idea the storm that was coming, no idea how hard the board would fight or how ugly things would get. But standing there in Serena's office, holding each other while Manhattan glittered below them, Nathan believed they might actually survive it. He just had to keep believing, even when everything fell apart. The first real date happened 3 days later at a small Italian restaurant in Brooklyn that Serena had never heard of, and Nathan couldn't really afford. She showed up in jeans and a sweater, no makeup, hair down, looking nothing like the CEO who terrified board members. Nathan wore the one decent button-down shirt he owned and spent the entire walk from his apartment convinced he was going to screw this up. You look nervous, Serena said as they sat down. I am nervous. Why? Because I haven't been on a date in 4 years, and the last one ended with my wife telling me I was fundamentally inadequate as a human being. Serena reached across the table and took his hand. Your ex-wife was an idiot. She wasn't wrong, though. I wasn't enough for her. You were exactly enough. She just wanted the wrong things. Serena squeezed his hand. And for the record, I'm nervous too. You don't do nervous. I do when I actually care about the outcome. She smiled slightly. Usually I don't care if dates go badly. I just leave and never think about them again. But this one matters. No pressure then. None whatsoever. They ordered wine and pasta, and the conversation flowed easier than Nathan expected. Serena talked about growing up as the daughter of a corporate titan, always feeling like she had to prove herself twice as hard as everyone else. Nathan talked about his childhood in Ohio, his parents who'd both died before Lily was born, the loneliness of raising a kid alone. Do you ever regret it? Serena asked. Taking full custody? Never. Lily is the only thing I've ever done completely right. Nathan paused. Do you regret not having kids? I can't regret something I never wanted, or thought I never wanted. Serena swirled her wine. I convinced myself family would get in the way of success, that I was better off alone. But spending time with you and Lily made me realize I might have been lying to myself. It's not too late. I'm 30. I run a billion-dollar company. I barely sleep. When would I have time for a family? Same time I do. Which is never, but you make it work anyway because the alternative is worse. Serena looked at him seriously. Nathan, I need you to understand something. I'm terrible at this. At relationships, at vulnerability, at letting people in. I'm going to mess this up, probably multiple times. So will I. No, you won't. You're genuinely good, kind, patient, everything I'm not. You're all those things too. You just hide them better. I hide them because showing them is dangerous. Dangerous how? Because people use kindness as weakness. They see vulnerability and attack. Serena set down her wine glass. I learned that when I was 12. My father brought me to a board meeting, and one of the directors spent the entire meeting talking to me like I was stupid. When I started crying, he told my father I was too emotional to ever run a company. So I stopped crying, stopped showing fear, stopped being anything except strong. That's awful. That's business. Serena's expression was carefully neutral. You don't survive in my world by being soft. You're not in your world right now. You're here, with me, and you don't have to be strong every second. I don't know how to be anything else. Then learn. Start small. Tell me one true thing you're afraid to say out loud. Serena was quiet for a long time. Then she took a breath. I'm terrified you're going to realize I'm not worth the trouble, she said. That I'm too damaged, too cold, too much work. And you'll leave like everyone else. Nathan felt his chest tighten. I'm not going anywhere. You don't know that. Yes, I do, because I know what it's like to be left, and I would never do that to someone I care about. You care about me? Yeah, I really do. Serena's eyes went wet. She looked away quickly, blinking hard. This is why I don't do vulnerability. It makes me cry in public. There's nobody here who matters. You matter. Then cry. I don't mind. She laughed, but it came out broken. You're supposed to be scared of me. Everyone else is. I am scared of you. You're the most powerful woman I've ever met. But I'm more scared of not trying this. Serena reached across the table and pulled him into a kiss that tasted like wine and hope and everything Nathan had convinced himself he didn't deserve. When they finally pulled apart, the waiter was standing there awkwardly with their pasta. Should I, come back? He asked. No, Serena said, not taking her eyes off Nathan. We're good. They ate dinner holding hands across the table like teenagers, and Nathan couldn't remember the last time he'd felt this happy. Then his phone rang. Lily's school. Emergency contact. Nathan answered immediately, heart in his throat. Mr. Brooks, this is Lincoln Elementary. Lily had an accident on the playground. She's okay, but we need you to come pick her up. What happened? She fell off the monkey bars. We think her wrist might be broken. Nathan was already standing. I'm on my way. He hung up and looked at Serena. I have to go. Lily's hurt. I'll drive you. You don't have to. Nathan? Serena was already grabbing her coat. I'm driving you. They made it to the school in 12 minutes. Lily was sitting in the nurse's office with her wrist wrapped in ice, trying not to cry. When she saw Nathan, the tears started. Dad, it hurts. I know, sweetheart. We're going to the hospital, okay? Nathan scooped her up carefully. You're going to be fine. I'm sorry. I was trying to do the bars like Jacob showed me, and I slipped. It's not your fault. Accidents happen. Lily saw Serena standing in the doorway. You came too? Of course I came. Serena moved closer. Can I see your wrist? Lily held it out. The swelling was bad. Serena's expression went tight. That looks painful, she said gently, but the doctors are going to fix it. You'll probably get a cool cast that your friends can sign. Really? Really. I broke my arm when I was 9. Had a purple cast for 6 weeks. Everyone wanted to sign it. Can I get purple too? Purpers. You can get whatever color you want. They drove to the ER with Lily in the back seat, trying to be brave and failing. Nathan held her good hand while Serena navigated Manhattan traffic with single-minded focus. The hospital was crowded and loud and everything Nathan hated. They checked in, got sent to a waiting room, and sat there for 90 minutes while Lily's wrist swelled bigger and the pain got worse. How much longer? Lily asked for the 10th time. Soon, sweetheart. That's in it. That's what you said an hour ago. I know. I'm sorry. Serena stood abruptly and walked to the reception desk. Nathan watched her talk to the nurse, her voice calm but firm. The nurse looked annoyed, then intimidated, then compliant. Serena came back. They're taking her in 5 minutes. How did you do that? I explained that we'd been waiting for over an hour and asked if they'd like me to call my lawyer. Serena shrugged. Sometimes being scary is useful. True to her word, a nurse called Lily's name 3 minutes later. The x-ray confirmed a fractured wrist. Clean break, would heal fine, needed a cast for 6 weeks. Lily chose purple. The doctor wrapped it professionally while Lily tried not to cry. You're very brave, Doc, the doctor told her. My dad says being brave doesn't mean you're not scared. It means you're scared, but you do it anyway. The doctor smiled. Your dad is right. They left the hospital at midnight. Lily was exhausted and high on pain medication, leaning against Nathan while Serena drove them home. Thank you, Nathan said quietly, for everything tonight. You don't have to thank me. Yes, I do. You dropped everything to help. Not everyone would do that. Lily matters to me. So do you. Serena glanced at him. This is what people who care about each other do, right? Yeah. This is exactly what they do. They got Lily into bed, pain medication administered, purple cast propped on pillows. She was asleep in minutes. Nathan walked Serena to the door, exhausted and grateful and overwhelmed by everything. Some first date, he said. Best first date I've ever had. Really? We spent half of it in the ER. We spent half of it being there for a kid who needed us. That's better than any fancy restaurant. Serena touched his face. You're a really good father, Nathan. I'm a mediocre father who's doing his best. That's what makes you good. She kissed him softly. Get some sleep. I'll see you tomorrow. You don't have to come by. I want to. Lily's going to need help, and you can't do everything alone. I've been doing everything alone for 3 years. Well, now you don't have to. Serena left, and Nathan stood in his doorway watching her go, wondering how his life had changed so completely in such a short time. The next morning, Serena showed up at 8 with coffee and bagels. She helped Nathan get Lily ready for school, signed her cast first with a message that made Lily giggle, and drove them both so Nathan wouldn't have to navigate subway stairs with an injured kid. This is really nice of you, Nathan said as they pulled up to the school. Stop thanking me. I'm not being nice. I'm being here because I want to be. Still nice, eh? Agree to disagree. Serena looked at Lily in the back seat. You going to be okay today? Yeah, everyone's going to think my cast is cool. It is cool. You're basically a superhero now. Lily grinned and climbed out of the car. Nathan walked her to the entrance, kissed her forehead, and watched her disappear inside. When he got back to the car, Serena was on her phone, her expression dark. What's wrong? Nathan asked. The board scheduled an emergency meeting for this afternoon. No agenda listed. That's not good. No, it's not. Serena put the phone down. They're making a move. I don't know what yet, but it's something big. What do you need me to do? Stay out of it. Whatever happens today, it's my fight, not yours. We're in this together now, remember? Nathan, if they're planning what I think they're planning, being associated with me could destroy you. I need you to let me handle this alone. No, that's not a request. I don't care. Nathan took her hand. You stood by me last night. I'm standing by you today. That's the deal. Serena looked like she wanted to argue, but then her expression softened. You're incredibly stubborn. I learned from the best. They drove to Vailtech together. The office had a weird energy, people whispering in clusters, anxious glances toward the executive floor. The kind of tension that came before something exploded. Marcus grabbed Nathan the moment he walked in. Dude, where have you been? Everything's going crazy. What happened? Someone leaked to the press that Serena's in a relationship with an employee. There are articles calling it a conflict of interest. The board is furious. They're talking about forcing her out. Nathan's stomach dropped. Who leaked it? Nobody knows, but whoever it was has documentation, photos, emails, everything. Photos of what? You and Serena, at Lily's birthday party, at that restaurant in Brooklyn, outside the hospital last night. Marcus showed him his phone. It's all over the business news sites. Nathan scrolled through articles with headlines like Vailtech CEO's inappropriate romance and Serena Vale's ethics violation. The photos were invasive and intimate, moments that should have been private now dissected by strangers. This is bad, Nathan said. This is catastrophic. The board has been looking for an excuse to remove her for months. You just gave it to them. Nathan felt sick. Everything Serena had warned him about was happening. She was going to lose her company because of him. He took the elevator to the executive floor without asking permission. Patricia tried to stop him. Mr. Brooks, Ms. Vale is in an emergency meeting. I know, I need to see her. You can't just... Nathan walked past her and knocked on the conference room door. Raised voices stopped immediately. Come in, Serena called. Nathan opened the door. Serena was standing at the head of a table surrounded by board members, all of them looking furious. The tension was suffocating. Mr. Brooks, said an older man Nathan recognized as Jonathan Pierce, the board chairman. This is a private meeting. I know, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I need to speak with Ms. Vale. Now is not the time. It's fine, Jonathan. Serena's voice was ice. We'll take a 5-minute recess. The board members filed out, shooting Nathan dirty looks. When the room was empty, Serena closed the door. You shouldn't be here, she said. I saw the articles. I know what's happening. Then you know this meeting is them trying to force me out, and you being here makes it worse. I can fix this. How, Tet? I'll resign. I'll tell the press it was all a misunderstanding. I'll take responsibility and clear your name. Absolutely not. Serena, you're going to lose your company because of me. I'm going to lose my company because the board has wanted me gone for years and they finally found leverage. That's not your fault. Yes, it is. I should have been more careful, should have kept distance, should have what? Not cared about me? Not been there for Lily? Not been the first honest thing in my life in 10 years? Serena moved closer. I'm not letting you sacrifice yourself to save me. And I'm not letting you lose everything you've built because you made the mistake of caring about me. They stood there, both stubborn, both terrified, neither willing to back down. There has to be another way, Nathan said finally. There isn't. The board has the votes. They're going to remove me as CEO and install someone they can control. Serena's voice was flat. It's over. We can fight this. With what? They have evidence of a conflict of interest. They have board support. They have lawyers. Serena sat down heavily. I knew this would happen. I knew getting close to you would be a mistake, but I did it anyway because I'm selfish and I wanted something for myself for once. This isn't your fault. It's absolutely my fault. I should have protected you better, should have protected us better, should have... Her voice cracked. I should have known better than to think I could have both the company and a life. Nathan knelt in front of her chair. Then choose the life. What? Choose us. Walk away from the company and choose us. Serena stared at him like he'd lost his mind. Nathan, this company is everything I've built, my entire identity, my father's legacy, everything I've worked for since I was 24 years old, and it's making you miserable. You said it yourself, you've never been happy. Maybe it's time to try something different. I can't just walk away. Why not? Because I don't know who I am without this company. Then find out. Be someone new, someone who's happy instead of powerful. Us. Serena looked at him with tears streaming down her face. You make it sound so simple. It is simple. It's just not easy. Before she could respond, the conference room door opened. Jonathan Pierce stood there with the other board members behind him. Ms. Vale, we've reached a decision, he said. We're prepared to offer you a choice. You can resign as CEO immediately with a generous severance package and non-compete clause. Or we can call a vote and remove you by force, which will be public and messy and destroy your reputation. You have 5 minutes to decide. Serena stood slowly, composing herself. I need to speak with my lawyer. You have 5 minutes, not 5 hours. What the? Then I'll speak fast. Serena looked at Nathan. Wait for me outside. Serena, please. Nathan left the conference room and stood in the hallway, heart pounding. Through the glass wall, he could see Serena on her phone, pacing, talking rapidly. The board members watched her like vultures waiting for something to die. 10 minutes later, the door opened. Serena walked out, her expression unreadable. What did you decide, Juan? Nathan asked. I'm resigning. What? Effective immediately, I'm walking away from Valetech. Serena's voice was calm, too calm. They're announcing it tomorrow morning. I'm done. Nathan couldn't process it. Serena, you can't just... It's already done. I signed the papers. It's over. She walked toward the elevator without looking back. Nathan followed, his mind spinning. They rode down in silence, walked through the lobby in silence, made it to the parking garage before Serena finally broke. She leaned against her car and started crying, huge broken sobs that shook her entire body. Nathan pulled her close and held her while she fell apart. I just gave up everything, she gasped. My company, my reputation, my entire life. What did I do? You chose yourself for the first time ever. I don't know how to be just myself. I've been CEO for so long. Then figure it out. We'll figure it out together. What if I made a mistake? What if I'm not strong enough to do this? Lusts. You're the strongest person I know. You just spent 10 years being strong in the wrong direction. Serena pulled back and looked at him, mascara smeared, eyes red, looking nothing like the composed CEO she'd been 3 hours ago. I'm terrified, she admitted. So am I. What do we do now? We go pick up Lily from school, we have dinner, we watch a movie. We do normal things that normal people do. Nathan wiped tears from her face. And tomorrow we figure out the rest. Just like that? Just like that. Serena kissed him hard, tasting like salt and desperation and new beginnings. Okay, she whispered. Let's go be normal. They drove to Brooklyn, picked up Lily from school, and explained that Serena would be around more now because she'd left her job. Forever? Lily asked, eyes wide. Forever, Serena confirmed. Yes! So Lily threw her good arm around Serena's waist. This is the best day ever. Say get day. Serena looked at Nathan over Lily's head, and despite everything, she smiled. Maybe it was the best day ever. Or maybe it was just the first day of something better. Either way, they were facing it together. The news broke the next morning. Vailtech CEO Serena Vale resigns amid controversy, dominated every business publication. The articles were brutal, dissecting her relationship with Nathan, questioning her judgment, speculating about what really happened behind closed doors. Nathan's name was everywhere. Photos of him with Lily, details about his divorce, his salary, his apartment, everything private, now public. His phone rang constantly. Reporters, former colleagues, people he barely knew wanting information. Nathan ignored all of it. Serena stayed at his apartment, hiding from the media circus, looking lost in a way Nathan had never seen. She sat on his couch in borrowed clothes, scrolling through articles about herself, each one making her smaller. They're saying I abused my power, she said quietly. That I manipulated you. That I'm unfit to lead any company. They're wrong. Are they? I did bring you close. I did give you opportunities other employees didn't get. I did cross professional boundaries. Because you cared about me. That's not manipulation. Tell that to the internet. Look, Nathan took her phone away. Stop reading this garbage. It doesn't matter what strangers think. Well, it matters to me. My reputation is destroyed. Nobody will hire me. Nobody will trust me. I'm done in this industry. Then do something else. Like what? Being a CEO is all I know. So learn something new. You're 30 years old. You have time to be 10 different people. Serena looked at him like she wanted to believe him but couldn't quite manage it. Lily came out of her bedroom, purple cast propped on a pillow. Are you sad? She asked Serena. A little bit, yeah. Because you lost your job? Because I lost everything I built. Lily climbed onto the couch next to her. My teacher says when something ends, something new can begin. Maybe you lost something old to make room for something better. Serena smiled despite the tears in her eyes. You're very wise for 9. I'm still 8 for 2 more weeks. Sorry. Very wise for 8. Lily snuggled against her. I'm glad you're here more, even if it makes you sad right now. Serena wrapped her arm around Lily and looked at Nathan, and something in her expression shifted, less lost, more hopeful. Maybe your teacher is right, Serena said quietly. She usually is. Lily agreed. She's really smart. They spent the day together. No phones, no news, no outside world. Just the 3 of them watching movies and playing board games and pretending the rest of the world didn't exist. It was the most peaceful day Nathan had experienced in years. That night, after Lily went to bed, Nathan found Serena on the roof with her telescope. Couldn't sleep? He asked. Too much noise in my head. She stepped back from the telescope. Look at Jupiter. You can see the moons. Nathan looked. The planet glowed against the darkness, 4 tiny points of light orbiting around it. It's beautiful, he said. It's perspective. All our drama, all this chaos, none of it matters to Jupiter. It just keeps spinning, completely indifferent to human nonsense. That's pretty dark. That's realistic. Serena leaned against the roof railing. I built this whole identity around being important, being someone who mattered, and in one day, it all disappeared. Makes you realize how fragile everything is. You still matter. To who? To Lily. To me. That's 2 people, Young. That's 2 people more than most of the powerful executives I've met. Nathan moved beside her. You spent 10 years mattering to thousands of people who didn't actually know you. Maybe it's better to matter deeply to a few people who do. Serena was quiet for a long time. Then she said, I got an email today from a headhunter. 3 different companies want to interview me for CEO positions. Nathan's stomach dropped. Are you going to take them? I don't know. Part of me wants to prove I can still do this, that I'm not finished. She looked at him. But part of me doesn't want to go back, doesn't want to sacrifice everything again for a job that makes me miserable. Then don't. It's not that simple. I have skills, experience. I can't just throw that away. I'm not asking you to throw it away. I'm asking you to use it differently. Use it for something that doesn't destroy you. Like what? Oh, I don't know. That's for you to figure out, but you've got time. For the first time in your life, you actually have time. Serena turned to face him fully. What if I waste it? What if I make the wrong choice? Then you make a different choice after that. That's how life works. I don't know how to do life. I only know how to do work. Lucky for you, I'm pretty good at life. I can teach you. Serena smiled slightly. You're pretty good at life? You eat cereal for dinner half the time. Exactly. Life skills. Nathan pulled her close. We'll figure it out together, one day at a time. No pressure, no 5-year plans, just living. That sounds terrifying. It is terrifying, but it's better than the alternative. Serena rested her head against his chest. I'm really glad I met you, Nathan Brooks. I'm really glad you didn't fire me that first night. I almost did. I know. They stood there on the roof, holding each other while the city hummed below them, and for the first time since everything fell apart, Serena felt like maybe she'd be okay. She'd lost her company, lost her reputation, lost everything she thought defined her, but she'd found something better. She'd found a life worth living. The worst part about losing everything wasn't the public humiliation or the destroyed reputation. It was the silence that came after. No morning meetings, no urgent calls, no fires to put out. Serena woke up every day with nowhere to go and nothing to prove, and it felt like drowning in slow motion. 3 weeks after her resignation, she was still living out of Nathan's apartment, wearing his oversized shirts, drinking coffee on the couch while he went to work and Lily went to school. She turned down all 3 CEO offers, ignored calls from investors who wanted to meet, spent entire days doing absolutely nothing. Nathan found her like that on a Tuesday afternoon, staring at the wall with dead eyes. Serena, he said gently, you need to leave the apartment. Why? Because you've been wearing the same shirt for 3 days, and I'm pretty sure you haven't showered since Sunday. I showered Monday. It's Wednesday. Serena looked at him blankly. Is it? Nathan sat beside her. Talk to me. What's going on? I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I wake up and there's just nothing. No purpose, no direction. I spent my entire adult life building something, and now that it's gone, I don't know who I'm supposed to be. You're supposed to be you, just you. I don't know who that is? Then figure it out, but you can't do it from this couch. Nathan took her hand. Come with me. Where? Anywhere. Just outside, fresh air, sunlight, proof that the world still exists. Serena wanted to say no, wanted to stay buried in the apartment where no one could judge her or photograph her or write articles about her fall from grace. But Nathan was looking at her with so much patient concern that she couldn't refuse. Fine, she said. But I'm not showering first. Deal. They walked through Brooklyn with no destination. Nathan pointed out his favorite coffee shop, the bodega where he bought Lily's juice boxes, the park where she'd learned to ride a bike. Small, normal things that made up a life Serena had never experienced. You really love this neighborhood, she observed. It's home. Not fancy, not impressive, but it's ours. Nathan glanced at her. Does it bother you? Living here instead of your penthouse? No, that's the weird part. The penthouse was beautiful and expensive and completely empty. Your apartment is cramped and loud and feels more real than anywhere I've ever lived. Oh, that's because Lily leaves her stuff everywhere and the walls are thin, and our downstairs neighbor plays jazz at inappropriate hours. Tamasi ishpael. Exactly. It's real life, messy and imperfect and human. Serena stopped walking. I think I've been chasing the wrong things my whole life. What were you chasing? Control, power, the feeling that I mattered, that my father's legacy mattered, that all the sacrifices meant something. She looked at the brownstones lining the street, the families walking by, the ordinary, beautiful chaos of Brooklyn. But none of it made me happy. Not once. What would make you happy? Serena thought about it. Really thought about it. I don't know. I've never asked myself that question. Maybe it's time to start. They kept walking. Serena felt something shift inside her. Small, fragile, but real. Like waking up after a long sleep and realizing the nightmare was over. When they got back to the apartment, Lily was home from school, doing homework at the kitchen table with her purple cast propped on a chair. Serena! She jumped up and hugged her. Where did you go? Just for a walk. Did you have fun? I think so, yeah. Good, because Dad and I have been worried about you. Lily said it matter-of-factly, like discussing the weather. You've been sad for a while. I know, I'm sorry. It's okay to be sad, but you can't be sad forever. That's what my teacher says. Your teacher is very wise. I know, she's the best. Lily went back to her homework. Also, someone called for you earlier. I wrote down the number. She handed Serena a piece of paper with a phone number scrawled in crayon. Below it, Lily had written, "She sounds nice. You should call her back." Who was it? Serena asked. She said her name was Rebecca, and she wanted to talk to you about something important. I told her you were out living your life, and she laughed. Lily shrugged. I liked her voice. Serena stared at the number. She didn't know any Rebecca, but something about the name felt familiar. She called back. Hello? Hi, this is Serena Vale. Someone called from this number? Serena? Yes, this is Rebecca Chin. We met briefly at a tech conference about 5 years ago. You probably don't remember me. Serena searched her memory. You worked for Tech Forward Initiative. I run a nonprofit that provides technology education to underprivileged communities. You gave a keynote about innovation, and afterwards we talked about the digital divide. Rebecca paused. You told me if I ever needed help to call you. I'm calling. I'm not in a position to help anyone right now. I don't have a company anymore. I know. I read about what happened. That's actually why I'm calling. Serena felt defensive immediately. If you want a statement or an interview, I want to offer you a job. That stopped Serena cold. What? We need someone to redesign our entire technology infrastructure. We're expanding into 6 new cities, and our current systems can't handle it. We need someone brilliant who understands both technology and strategy. Rebecca's voice was warm. You're the best person I know for this. I'm not a charity case. Good, because I'm not offering charity. I'm offering a real job with real responsibilities. The pay is terrible compared to what you're used to. The hours are long. The work is hard. But it actually matters. Rebecca paused. Think about it. Call me back if you're interested. She hung up. Serena stood in Nathan's kitchen, holding the phone, feeling something she hadn't felt in weeks. Interest. Actual genuine interest. Who is that? Nathan asked. Someone offering me a job. Are you going to take it? I don't know. It's nonprofit work. The pay is probably nothing. It's the opposite of everything I've done. Sounds perfect then. Serena looked at him. You think I should do it? I think you should do whatever makes you want to get out of bed in the morning. Nathan wrapped his arms around her. But yeah, I think you should do it. Serena called Rebecca back the next day and took the job. The work was different than anything she'd experienced. Instead of maximizing profit margins, she was maximizing impact. Instead of board meetings with executives in expensive suits, she attended planning sessions with teachers and community organizers who cared more about helping kids than impressing investors. The pay was laughably small compared to her CEO's salary. The office was a converted warehouse in Queens. Her title was Director of Technology Strategy, which sounded impressive but mostly meant she spent her days solving problems nobody else could fix. And Serena loved it. For the first time in her professional life, she went to work excited instead of stressed. She built systems that helped kids in the Bronx learn coding, designed programs that brought internet access to communities that couldn't afford it, used her skills for something that actually changed lives. You seem different, Nathan said one evening, watching her work on her laptop at the kitchen table. Different how? Lighter, like you're not carrying the weight of the world anymore. I'm not. I'm just carrying the weight of 3 new community centers and a grant proposal that's due Friday. Serena smiled. It's better. Yeah? Yeah. Lily appeared in her pajamas, ready for bed. Serena, will you read me a story? Of course. They developed this routine over the past month. Nathan handled homework and dinner, Serena handled bedtime stories. It worked in a way that felt natural and right. Serena tucked Lily into bed and opened the book, some fantasy about dragons and magic that Lily loved. Serena, Lily said halfway through chapter 3. Yeah? Are you going to marry my dad? Serena nearly dropped the book. What? Are you going to marry him? Because I think you should. You make him happy, and he makes you happy, and we already live together, so we might as well make it official. Lily, that's a very big question. But you love him, right? Serena thought about lying, about deflecting, about maintaining some professional boundary that no longer existed. Yes, she said honestly, I love him. And he loves you. I can tell because he smiles different now, like he used to smile before Mom left, but better. Better how? Like he believes it this time. Lily snuggled deeper into her blankets. So you should probably get married. I already told Sophia at school you were going to be my new mom. Lily, I know you're not replacing my real mom, but she doesn't want to be my mom anymore, so the spot is open, and I think you'd be really good at it. Serena felt tears burning behind her eyes. You think so? I know so. You care about me. You show up. You read me stories even when you're tired. Lily looked at her seriously. That's what moms do. Your dad and I haven't even talked about marriage. So talk about it. Adults are always telling kids to use their words. You should use yours. Oh, Satya Maria, miss. Serena laughed despite the tears. When did you get so wise? I've always been wise. Adults just don't listen. Lily yawned. Will you finish the story? Serena finished the chapter, kissed Lily's forehead, and turned off the light. When she came back to the living room, Nathan was waiting. She asked you about marriage, didn't she? He said. How did you know? Because she's been asking me about it for 2 weeks. I told her to be patient. Nathan patted the couch beside him. Come here. Serena sat. Nathan took her hand. I know we've only been together a few months, he said. I know everything is complicated and messy, and we're still figuring things out. I know I can't give you the life you're used to, the money, the status, any of it. Nathan, but I love you. I love how you care about Lily. I love how you're building something new instead of mourning what you lost. I love who you are when you're not trying to be someone powerful. Nathan squeezed her hand. I don't have a ring. I don't have a plan. But if you want this, want us, I'm all in. Serena looked at this man who'd somehow become her entire world. This single father in a cramped Brooklyn apartment who worked too hard and loved too much and saw her more clearly than anyone ever had. I want this, she said. I want you and Lily and this messy, imperfect, beautiful life we're building. Yeah? Yeah. Nathan kissed her, and Serena felt something she'd been chasing her whole life finally click into place. Home. This was home. Not a penthouse or a corner office or a name on a building. Just this apartment, this man, this kid, this life. Everything she'd never known she needed. The engagement happened 3 months later on the roof, where they'd first talked about Jupiter and perspective and what really mattered. Nathan proposed with a simple ring he'd saved for months to afford. Lily cried happy tears and immediately started planning the wedding. They got married 6 months after that in a small ceremony in Brooklyn with Lily as flower girl and Marcus as best man, and Rebecca Chin and a handful of friends who actually mattered. No press, no executives, no performance. Just 2 broken people who'd found each other and decided to be whole together. Serena kept working at Tech Forward, building programs that changed lives. Nathan took a new position at a smaller tech company with better hours and less stress. Lily thrived with 2 parents who actually showed up. It wasn't perfect. Serena still had days where she missed the power and control of being CEO. Nathan still worried about money and whether he was enough. Lily still struggled with her mother's absence. But they faced it together. The hard parts, and the beautiful parts, and everything in between. One evening, almost 2 years after Serena had resigned from Vailtech, Nathan found her on the roof with her telescope staring at the stars. "You okay?" he asked. "Just thinking. About? About how I spent 30 years building an empire, and the moment I actually became happy was when I lost it." Serena smiled. "That's pretty ironic." "That's pretty human. Six. I used to think success meant being powerful, being feared, being someone people remembered." She looked at him. "Now I think success means being loved by people who actually know you." "That's a much better definition. Took me long enough to figure it out." Serena pulled him closer. "Thank you for not giving up on me. Even when I was drowning in my apartment and refusing to shower. You showered eventually." Eventually. They stood together under the Brooklyn sky, two people who'd found each other in the most unlikely way and built something real from the wreckage of their old lives. Lily appeared in the doorway. "Dad, Serena, come look. I got an A on my science project." They followed her inside, and Serena realized this was all she'd ever really needed. Not board meetings or stock prices or her name in headlines. Just this. A family. A purpose. A life that felt worth living. She'd lost everything to find it, and she'd make that trade every single time. Because here's what Serena Vale learned after her empire crumbled. Power doesn't keep you warm at night. Success doesn't call you when you're sad. Achievement doesn't show up to read bedtime stories or hold your hand through panic attacks, or love you when you're at your absolute worst. People do that. Real, imperfect, messy people who see you completely and choose you anyway. Nathan had chosen her when she was falling apart. Lily had chosen her when she had nothing to offer except broken promises to try harder. They'd chosen her not because of what she could do for them, but because of who she was underneath all the armor. And Serena had finally chosen herself, the real self she'd buried under ambition and fear, and the desperate need to matter to strangers who would never actually know her. She'd spent 3 decades building walls to keep people out, convinced that strength meant standing alone, that vulnerability was weakness, that love was a luxury she couldn't afford. She'd been wrong about all of it. The strongest thing she'd ever done was fall apart in Nathan's arms and let him help her back up. The bravest choice she'd ever made was walking away from a billion-dollar company to build a life that actually made her happy. The smartest decision she'd ever committed to was choosing love over power, family over empire, truth over performance. Standing in that cramped Brooklyn apartment, watching Nathan help Lily hang her A-plus science project on the refrigerator, Serena understood something fundamental about the human experience that her father had never taught her. We're not here to build monuments to ourselves. We're here to love people and be loved by them, to make the world slightly better than we found it, to matter to the few people who actually know our names, not the millions who only know our reputations. That was the real success. That was the real power. Not in boardrooms or bank accounts or business publications, but in moments like this, ordinary, beautiful, fleeting moments that added up to a life worth living. Serena had climbed to the top of the corporate world and found nothing but loneliness. She'd fallen to the bottom and found everything that actually mattered. Some people would call that a tragedy, a waste of potential, a brilliant woman who gave up power for domesticity. But Serena knew the truth. She hadn't given up anything. She'd finally figured out what she'd been looking for all along: connection, purpose, love. The warm chaos of a family that needed her not for what she could provide, but simply because she was there. Nathan glanced over and caught her watching them. He smiled. That soft, genuine smile that still made her heart skip, and mouthed, "I love you," across the kitchen. Serena mouthed it back and meant it with every broken, rebuilt piece of herself. This was success. This was power. This was everything worth having. And she'd spent her whole life building an empire just to learn that the only kingdom that mattered was the one she built right here, in a too-small apartment in Brooklyn, with a single father and his daughter who saw her completely and loved her anyway. The Ice Queen had melted. The CEO had fallen. The woman who'd terrified boardrooms and destroyed competitors had learned to be gentle with herself, patient with her healing, and brave enough to choose happiness over achievement. And in the end, that was the only story that mattered. Not the headlines or the resignation or the scandal. Just a woman who'd lost everything and discovered that everything she'd lost had been keeping her from everything she needed. Lily grabbed Serena's hand and pulled her toward the refrigerator to admire the science project one more time. Nathan wrapped his arm around both of them, and they stood there together, awkward and perfect and absolutely real. And Serena finally understood what home felt like. It felt like this, like laughter in a cramped kitchen, like a 9-year-old's proud smile, like Nathan's steady presence beside her, like building something small and precious instead of something massive and hollow. It felt like being enough, just as she was, without the title or the company or the empire, just Serena, finally, completely, beautifully herself. And that was the greatest success she'd ever achieved.